Well, Tanya, thanks for tuning in. So, I wanted to go over what I've felt, seen, and just kind of noticed around the whole coronavirus vaccination on a more spiritual or energetic level. So, just as the preface, through my magical, mystical path, I've learned to very strongly trust my ability to feel and sense truth, deception, and half truths when it comes to individuals. So, for example, if someone is lying and I'm tuning in specifically, I'll be able to feel like a strong discomfort in my heart area, right? Because the heart is the ultimate, fact checker, right? Connects straight to the source, right? And so when I feel that lie, it makes my heart close, and I want to dismiss what they say because it just feels like a manipulation, a lie. Don't want any part of it. I just kind of, or sometimes I'll just take note and be like, okay, I'll just note that and tuck that in my back pocket for later, right? Just to know their character. Next up is like with the gray. Like if someone's speaking a half truth, then it's kind of like I kind of believe you, but I'm not gonna follow through on it. And sometimes, depending on the strength of what their words are, or the impact it will have on me and those close to me, or on the importance of the fact and how much I'm tuning in, I will sometimes very literally see like an energetic release of this gray energy, like this mist of like white and black, like mixed together. And that's when I know, okay, they're not telling me everything. The next up is the truth. Of course, the truth just resonates. It just kind of sits right. It just feels good, and you're easily able to accept it and integrate it into yourself. You're able to hear and listen when it's truth and strong truth. And what that feels like, again, is like an open heartedness, it's an understanding, it's an eagerness to listen, and it just sits right and it resonates. Or sometimes you'll get like a chill. It's confirmation of whatever they're saying is true and it's important. So that's just a preface, just a background of where I'm coming from. So I was in a metaphysical shop a few months ago, and this lady came in. She talked to one of the other people there, and she's mentioning how she got the COVID vaccine. And the other lady at the shop, she's like, "Oh, well, why did you do that?" I could feel her own kind of disagreement with it, but trying to look at both sides. Hey, that's good. So anyways, so this lady who got the vaccine was like, "Oh, well, I did my research, and I found out that the guides and the allies of the people who are manufacturing are all like of the light, and they have our best interest in mind, and they're all good, and all this and this and this and this." And as she's speaking, I'm tuning into what she's saying because I just want to gather my own opinions and feelings on the vaccine. And again, it just felt like a lie, just a gross, energetic, like my heart shut off, my body language, everything. I was just like, oh gosh, it just energetically felt wrong. And there's just this wool pulled over her eyes almost, right? That's kind of what it felt like to me. Also energetically, it was just like this layer of like gray and this almost ignorant. Ignorance is such a strong word, but just this ignorant, logical energy to it. When someone's so much in their head and the mental faculties, there's a distinct energy when it's coming from that logical faculty. Not everything that's logical is true. There are some things that don't make logical sense that are absolutely true. So I was just feeling this, and it just felt like she was in her head about it, and it was false. Oh, angel bells. Got my little confirmation there. Anyway, sorry. And so it's just like, okay, something's wrong about this. Like, I'm not liking this thing. I already had a bad feeling about it to begin with, but this was just further evidence for me. So next step, I had another instance where, let's see here. I was sitting next to someone, and I just met them. Cool person. I like them and all that. But I noticed, and this isn't with everybody, this never really happens to me. I really haven't experienced this before. Whenever they sat close to me, like in my auric field, it hurt. It hurt my aura, like really badly. And I was like, what is that? Like, I know they don't practice or anything like that. That's not it. It was a culmination of negativity, whether physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, soulful, I don't know at that time, but I can feel it. It's kind of like if you ever had a crystal or an object that has accumulated a lot of negativity and it needs to be washed, and you pick it up with your fingers and it hurts your fingers. That's the same feeling I was getting from this person's aura when ours crossed over. And I was grossed out by it. I shielded, I did my prayers, did my invocations. I was like, okay, I'm not having this. And I scooted away a little bit. I'm like, okay, but in my head, I'm like, all right, again, in my head, I'm like, well, maybe it's just, maybe they're going through their crap right now and their aura is just negative and they're going through some stuff. Who knows? Whatever. So I just chalk it up and I dismiss it. So a few months go by or a few weeks or something goes by, and again, I feel it in my aura again, but more intensely this time. Like it's really starting to bother me. And so I'm thinking in my head and I'm asking, like, what is this? And then when I say that, a few seconds pass and this person goes, I don't feel so good. And they're kind of like stretching and like moving around. And I'm like, oh, why is that? I thought, oh, maybe they didn't get enough sleep or something. And they're like, oh, I just got my second vaccine. And that's when lights start going off and everything starts connecting. I'm like, oh, okay, I got it. So the first time it felt awful was they got the vaccine. The second time it felt even worse, they got another vaccine. So I'm now starting to see a pattern here. Okay, well, there's something going on an energetic level that this vaccine is doing, right? Without consciously knowing that this guy had the vaccine, I was energetically feeling and sensing something strong negative energy from him. So again, more time goes by and I come across someone in the shop. And I've known them for a little bit, and I know they do practice. They are very magical and mystical. And this individual, it felt like they just had like a cloak of like gray on, like just a cloak. Like energetically, there's like just a encapsulated. The aura was like gray and like static. And this gray means many things. It can mean like dis-ease in the body, like uncomfortableness. It can mean actual dis-ease. Physical ailments, mental, emotional, problems or things that are unequilibrated in that sense. And so I just thought to myself again, maybe they're just going through some stuff and their aura is a little janky. I mean, I get like that too sometimes. Stuff happens. And so I'm just kind of seeing and observing this, and then I later find out that this individual got their vaccine not too long ago. I'm like, oh. So that's when everything started to click together for me. And now I strongly feel and believe, like backed up with all these things that I've been experiencing and feeling, and the knowing is that I personally strongly believe the vaccine is not good. It's like an injection on like a cellular level of gray shadow and just awful poison. On a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and possibly soulful level. I hope it's not soulful, but I just know it is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, that this injection is infecting people. Now, if you are strongly for the COVID vaccine and all of that, and this doesn't resonate with you, you're in disagreement, I just strongly urge you just to do like a week, 7 days of hardcore research from different fields, people who aren't invested in the success of the vaccine. Just really dig in and do your own research and findings. Feel it on an energetic level. Throw some runes, throw some tarot cards, whatever it is you do. Really look into it before you implant yourself with this. Because just in my experience, it feels, it looks, and I just know it is awful in my being. And I just strongly hope that everyone does their own due diligence. And you don't go into the mental place of, oh, well, this, and this, and this, and this statistic, and this statistic. Take the culmination of the facts and blend it with the spirituality to find the truth. All right, folks, that's all. I hope this helped some of you. This has been Theo. Thanks for tuning in.